Howdy folks, Mac here. I am working through my big disaster and I will show that to you right now. So here is our Jeep TJ. It is Wednesday night. I have the transmission out. I have the transfer case out. I have been ripping this thing apart back and forth for the last 2 weeks, prepping it for Montana. We leave tomorrow. I got the transmission all installed. Gearworks and Bend helped me with a rebuilt unit, and it wouldn't shift. So I drove to Bend, and I went to Gearworks, and the guy grabbed the shifter and horsed it into gear and said there's nothing wrong with it, which is great. I wish they had kind of told me that with brand new rebuilt transmissions, the sinkers are so stiff you pretty much had to horse them around. Now, in doing that, I also went to my favorite guys at 911 Racing and bought myself a transmission jack. The reason why I bought a transmission jack is because my jack here has a 911 Racing conversion kit. These big wheels, that. You can also do things like this, which makes it really easy for lifting. This is exactly what we used when we put the Tammy Joe up into the dump trailer. So we used this 911 Racing conversion kit. So what this is going to let me do is put a transmission jack adapter on the end of that jack to lift that in there. My Harbor Freight one right here, the ram blew some seals or did something, but it is no longer lifting. And I am not going to spend $225 buying another Harbor Freight jack that worked twice. So, here's my problem. Here we go. I'm going to start by assembling this little bad boy right here. Alright. So, let's pull open this box. 911 sent me some extra swag too, so I have got beer koozies and all this stuff. Pyrax. What is going on? Are you here to help? I know you are. Yes, you are. We have instructions, which are always really good. And I have stuff in here. What do we got? So one of the nice things about this transmission jack is it's all designed to fit in a flat rate box. These are going to thread up and down and let me micro adjust the transmission. And the nice thing about it all being able to fit in a flat rate box is instead of that ginormous Harbor Freight jack that I have to find a spot for, I now have got this little guy right here. Willow, don't do that. She just ate the rest of my chicken strip. Thank you, Bella. So, sought to not be too difficult of a project. I think we got this in pretty good shape. Ought to go pretty quick. This has a nice little circle right there. That's going to go right on top of that. This is going to let me lift the transmission in and secure it. 911 Racing also includes a tool that conveniently now has magnets built into it. This is their prototype. He gave me their prototype, so I feel very glad about that. Red line are maximum lift lines. Looks like he used a little bit of red Loctite on that in order to make some marks. That looks all assembled. And now we should be able to drop this transmission right in and get everything installed into the Jeep. That's the plan. What is going to complicate things is that the Jeep is not raised up. It is on the ground, and previous transmission adapters I've had to put the jack underneath and then drag the transmission on underneath the vehicle. So that could be complicated. We're going to try putting it on. That is not going to work because that's going to need to be. So maybe it'll work right there. Good. So go in like this. And I'm going to do basically what I did the last time, which is kind of tip it up and then rock it on. That make sense?
Tip the jack and then lay it on there and tip it?
No. Tip the transmission up,
Yeah.
push the jack, lay it back. Let's see what we can do. First off, tuck the wiring back up where I had it the last time.
Back to me.
If I can slide the transmission forward more. So.
Yeah, the back side of the transmission's not as big a diameter.
Then maybe I can get up here more.
No. I think you need to pick up the back of the transmission and put it on the thing because it's smaller. Diameter's not exactly diameter, but you know what I mean.
Ugh, that's the heavy part.
Oh, come on, you can do it.
Okay, that's gonna work. Okay. So now
Say what?
I have no idea what.
I can probably crawl under there and pick the front of it up. If
I'm
that
trying to figure out.
I can't hold it.
I think we need to be back.
Well, you know what?
We're kind of in there.
Yeah, I think you're okay. It's got to turn, it would be counterclockwise to you. The whole transmission does, looks like.
I'm bleeding good.
Yeah, that's good. That means you're doing something.
Okay, so
I mean, it looks like it from this end right there. Yeah, it's got to turn clockwise to me. Might have to go up an inch if anything.
okay.
Some more.
I can't.
It's hitting the exhaust.
Okay, whoa.
Okay.
The transmission jack is hitting the exhaust.
Yeah, there we go. We're kind of in right now. We're started in.
Okay.
Well, come to me a little bit. Try it. Oh, this fucker's gonna hurt like hell when it falls on my head. I know it.
Knock some sense into you.
No, there's none there. Okay, now you're out of square real bad. The back of the transmission has to go.
You can rotate it.
Well,
The
no,
whole thing is on a
I
pivot.
need to keep this where it is.
Okay.
The back of the transmission needs to be the other way. The other way. Yes.
I
that
can't
way.
go any farther.
Not
The
really.
exhaust is in the way.
Okay, well then it's.
Well, let me move this fork, actually. If I remove that fork.
There. Okay. That's. Go more if you can.
In?
You're like a half inch out of square.
Oh, okay.
There we go, right there. You're pretty square
Okay,
right now.
so
Don't
I
do anything.
can-
And put my hand in there
Yeah,
again.
I hear you. Do something radical here. I'm going to try to move one of these supports, which is not in a good spot because it's off to the side. I'm going to try to roll it around and put it on the back of the transmission where I can then use it to push up. I'm not touching it. Ignore it.
Well, they hate.
He's fine. I'm used to this. He does it all the time to me. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the bottle jack to lift the back. And I'm hoping that
Yeah,
either one of two things will happen. One,
Move your part.
maybe I can move some of my stuff around. Or two, maybe it just lifts it enough that it'll roll into place. You know what I mean? Okay. So now,
Dreams don't hurt unless you think they're not a dream.
we're hitting on that.
You'd be okay.
Okay, now-
If this was.
Oh, ow, my head.
I wonder if that could go
Transfer
in.
case.
If this would slide this way,
It
and you
can.
could catch it on this rib here,
Yeah, it
and
can.
then that one come this way and catch it on the rib.
Yes, it can.
Well, that's what we need to do.
I need to go forward.
See
I'm gonna crawl out and I'm gonna look at it. What I want is I want the faces to be aligned.
parallel to each other.
It's looking a lot better, but it looks like it could probably use another turn. I'm gonna give it another turn.
Give it another turn.
And now, rotationally, we're pretty good right there.
Not bad. We still need to go east a little bit with this front of the transmission. That's. See, the damn jack has to come forward. Has to carry the transmission there like
when I do that, it's sliding on the transmission.
Oh, is it? Yeah.
It's not moving the jack.
I got you.
All it's doing is dragging it out from underneath the transmission, which is going to hurt us.
Right.
If it's got that much resistance, then it's not.
Yeah, Jack's. I don't know what the hell it's hitting on. It's hanging
Okay.
up on something.
We're gonna try going down 1/4 of an inch.
Which you are high. We're high here in the front. At least it.
I'm gonna go down 1/4 of an inch. Ready? Now you see how that's rotated? I didn't want to do it that way.
Better.
I was gonna just drop the whole thing. We were parallel before, and now we're not because you changed that. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Right. Look at it again.
Yeah, baby.
Get some bolts in there.
Hey, where'd all the bolts go?
I handed. They were all sticking out of the side of the transmission a second ago.
I'm gonna record.
I mean, starting the Jeep.
Okay, Mac's gonna start the Jeep, or at least try to. He says anything that can be damaged by the Jeep starting has been disabled, so here we go. It's in gear. The question is, are the yokes turning?
They are.
The yokes are turning. The front one turning?
Perfect. We have joy. We have fun.
You can't reach down there and stop that yoke from turning with your hand now, can you?
I prefer my tongue.
Well, you probably could with your tongue, but can you do it with your hand?
Well, I'm just thinking that.
That's kind of a funny sound.
But we got gear.
What gear did you put it in?
First and second. I'm checking radiator fluid too.
Gotta see if that radiator's sealed up.
It should start sucking things through the bucket here. And you can see a couple bubbles. And the other thing we need to check on is power steering fluid. I have that all topped off. Although I probably should do that when it's not running. So look underneath and see that.
Oh, Mac.
Like the water?
Like it's
spinning? And leaking?
Yeah.
It is not in gear right now and it's spinning.
Well, see, can you stop the yoke from turning with your hands? There's going to be friction those things will turn.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah, there's no load on them, they'll turn. A lot of times they will. There you go.
Okay, so that's
You're good.
not bad.
Yeah, you're good. Oh, that clicking sound went away too. Cool.
It's probably just needing a little bit of joint tension like that.
Yeah. You can probably cut an inch off of that.
Bubbles there.
You can probably cut an inch off of that hose and
If I need to, yeah. It seems like it's going to stop. I gave it a little tug and it seemed to have stopped.
no, it's still leaking. You can see it right there. Just in case you haven't figured it out, we're looking at the water pump and thermostat housing.
So this is where these
Here
come in
comes
handy.
Mac with a pair of pliers. Uh-oh.
See that? That'll pinch that off. So when
Hey, that's like if a guy was bleeding to death.
yeah, well, for that we use something called tourniquet.
Oh, no, just
That's before we get out the saw and take their leg off.
the housing to hold the hose just a little bit on the end there.
How much? That much?
I'd take a good inch or so off of it.
Watch me separate the wire.
Oh yeah, you don't need that. There's some wet down in there on the actual water pump housing.
Yeah, that was a bunch of stuff that spilled down in there.
Might just dry up and go away.
Drive shaft is flopping around.
Yeah, well
So I'd like to get the drive shafts in
yeah,
there.
get the drive shafts on.
I think that's what I really want to do next.
I'm not seeing any bleeding.
I saw a little dripping down here, but that might have been that.
Well, yeah, residual stuff from who knows where.
I think that was what the last of what it was.
I think you're doing all right now.
Montana on dirt roads, starting off with a good section of OHV stuff. Our biggest obstacle right now, we have two of them. One, I put a brand new transmission in here. Not once, but twice. And when I put in that transmission, it was not working right. So I took it out, I took it to the guys in Bend, who built the thing, and they said nothing was wrong with it. Put it back in, and we have no first gear, and we have no fourth gear. And it got so hot we could cook our toes. Go straight?
Yeah.
We could probably cook hot dogs on the transmission. Second issue, our front drive shaft appears to be frozen. It took a hammer to install it, and it is not moving freely, which means it's pushing heavily on our pinion gears. And at any moment, our entire front end could grenade. All not good things. So, join us as we drive to Montana, or maybe we don't. As I like to say, Montana or bust, literally.
Yeah.
Never good when the rear end is smoking. That is hot. Jessica said everything's making noise, not working the way it should. It's starting to die again. Let's get to a gas station. Sound good?